Jumana Hadid, she is a Syrian-American who describes herself as a long-time McCain supporter. She joins us now. Jumana, what you said to John McCain in that meeting last week has been watched on YouTube, I think, more than 200,000 times. You seem to have struck a bit of a chord. Before we start, let's have a little bit more of a listen.
For me to listen to you saying there is no good option, I refuse to believe that. The good option right now is to take Saudi Arabia and Iran and force them to stop supporting the two sides in Syria. And you could do it. You can do it by diplomacy and negotiation, not bombs, Senator McCain. We cannot afford to shed more Syrian blood.
Jumana, I'm curious, what made you speak up to begin with? I don't think you were planning to, were you?
No, I was not planning on, and I happened to find out about this town hall meeting, as a matter of fact, by accident. I just spoke my heart, and I think I spoke what so many of us been silent, whether in Syria or in the US, about what's been happening. And it's been extremely frustrating to see the same lies being repeated over and over in order to push this country to go into another war.
You spoke very forcefully. Do you think the senator listened?
I hope he will listen. I hope President Obama and Senator McCain will hear the American people loud and clear that we do not want any military intervention in the Middle East. And to me, it's very hypocritical when they are all crying over the use of chemical weapons right now, but somehow they look the other way when it was used in Israel and when it was also used in Fallujah. So to me, it's very hypocritical for them to say that now that it's been used in Syria. And again, we don't know yet. We don't know yet who used it. It could be. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I understand. There is dispute over that. There are those who believe that it may have been a break in the chain of command. Nobody knows 100% who ordered what. I'm curious what you think as a Syrian-American and Christian as well, what you think the US should be doing.
I think diplomacy. And what we saw yesterday, actually, it was a great day for the whole world to see a new beginning, a new dialogue. What Bashar Assad decided to do is great. President Obama also was, this is what we need. We need the two presidents to have dialogue over this. And to me, it's a huge step toward democracy, a huge step toward a new future. The Cold War is over, and I think we need a new generation that will see this vision. Unfortunately, there's some who are still stuck in that frame of mind, including Senator McCain and the Lieberman and Lindsey Graham and the Wolfowitz and the Cheneys and the Ramsfield, and I could go on and on and on from past administration as well, who are still in control of what's happening in the Middle East, as if they are the only authorities on the Middle East. They speak with such a conviction about what they're doing, and yet they prove that they did the wrong thing in Iraq.
And a lot of people
are doing the wrong thing in Syria as well. They're repeating the same mistake. Demonize the leader, create the fear, draw the line, and go in for a humanitarian purpose. This is. I don't think the American people are buying this anymore. The beneficiaries here are Saudi Arabia, who basically sponsored those mercenaries, and they've been funding those terrorists to go to Syria and fight against a secular sovereign country. And this is illegal by any international law.
Before I let you go, I mentioned earlier that you are a Syrian Christian. I'm curious about your concerns for the Christian population in Syria. There has been some targeting of late by some rebel forces and by the military indeed as well.
Absolutely. My heart goes to all the Syrian, of course, whether they are Sunni, Shia, Christian, of course, because I happen to be Christian. Of course, they've been forced to flee. And this is a pattern that's been happening for centuries, and we cannot allow this to happen. I think what we need to do is a new migration of Christian back to the Middle East. I would like to see one day, my dream one day, to see in Saudi Arabia the right for Christians to go there and practice Christianity in Saudi Arabia.
Do you as a Syrian...
Why they have the same right to come to the U.S. and practice the religion and open mosques.
Do you as a Syrian American believe that either side of the conflict at the moment, Bashar al-Assad or indeed what is a very fractured opposition, have the ability and the will to sit down and talk it out in a diplomatic sense, or does a stick need to be wielded?
I think definitely diplomacy. If we put enough pressure, the first thing that needs to happen is Saudi Arabia to stop funding those terrorists. And we need the UN to go in and to monitor an immediate ceasefire. And now that President Bashar, he agreed to have the UN take control of the chemical pile. I think this is a huge step. The next thing that we need to do is also, we could also monitor the ceasefire, have the UN monitor the ceasefire. What we also need to do in Syria is look forward to the 2014 election. We are forgetting that in less than a year, Syria is going to have an election. Well, let's make sure that we provide the tools and the mean for them to do so. So we need to clear the terrorists out of Syria, allow the good Syrian people to return back to their country so they could participate in this vote. And this vote also, this process could be monitored by the United Nations. To ensure that all segments are presented.
It's very difficult to see that happening next year, given the situation on the ground, but a lot of people hoping that something comes out of this Russian deal. We shall have to wait and see. Jumana Hadid, thanks so much.